Calling all gymnasts. Ready to take your game to the next level? Meet your secret weapon. Full out collegiate recruiting. We get it. The journey from club gymnastics to collegiate athlete can feel like a maze. But fear not. With Full Out, you'll get the education and guidance you need to navigate the recruiting process like a pro. Don't let uncertainty hold you back. Join the ranks of successful student athletes who have trusted Full Out collegiate recruiting to turn their dreams into reality. Visit our website today at www.fulloutrecruit.com to learn more and take the first step towards your future in collegiate sports. Mention Region 5 College Salute podcast during your free consultation and get a $50 credit when you sign on.
1, 2, 3, 4. Grab your bracket, get on the floor. Gotta pick who's gonna get crowned. Gotta pick who's gonna make it go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who you got in your final four? Gotta pick who's gonna get crowned. Gotta pick who's gonna make it go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Will there be an upset on the floor? Gotta pick who's gonna get crowned. Gotta pick who's gonna make it go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get this pod on the floor. Gotta pick who's gonna get crowned. Gotta get this going now.
Welcome to our special regional preview here on the College Salute podcast, the place you go for all you need to know about how our Region 5 alums are doing during their NCAA careers. Of course, you know Kim, and I'm Jason, and we are breaking down the alums you will see, the routines to watch, and who we feel will advance from each of the four regions. But remember, a free way to support our show is by leaving a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to the College Salute podcast. Tell us what you love about the show or what you'd like to see improved. The review helps others discover our podcast and join our Region 5 family. Help us continue to grow our podcast, which is the only regionally based gymnastics podcast in the country and the only one with a gymnastics wrap each and every week. Thank you, Kim. We continue to show our love for our Region 5 alums throughout their college careers, so please show us some love with a review and a 5-star rating. So we are going to quickly just break down each and every regional from the standpoint of our alums and some routines, like I said, that you're going to want to watch. To start off, in regional semi, we're going to tell you who starts on what. Basically, by NQS, if you're the number one ranked team in that particular regional, you begin on vault in the regional semi. Number 4 starts on bars, number 3 starts on beam, and number 2 starts on floor. The number you ranked in, it's all by blind draw. So that's why it seems that way. So if you're the number one ranked team in that particular regional, not number 1 in the country, number 1 in that regional, you start on vault. Number 4, bars, 3, beam, 2, floor. That's for regional semis. In a regional final, number 3 starts on vault, number 2 on bars, number 1 on beam, and number 4 on floor. Number 4 on floor. So it's kind of crazy, but you'll get it as you obviously watch, who starts, because in regionals we know 4 box names, scores, you know what event everyone's on. So. All right, well, we're going to start in Ann Arbor, and the reason why we're starting in Ann Arbor, in good old Chrysler Arena, is because Kim and I will both be at that regional, though I will only be there for Thursday's 2 sessions, the prelim sessions. I have a Excel State this weekend. So Wednesday is the play-in, which, as we're recording this podcast, is tomorrow. This podcast will be up, so it will be tomorrow when you probably listen to it. But today, being tomorrow, that's all confusing. But Wednesday, play-in, April 3rd.
That totally made me think of the movie of Spaceballs. When they watch the movie Spaceballs on the ship, and it's like, it's tomorrow, but it's today. It's like right now, we're watching it right now, but it's today, tomorrow, right now. But what's happening is happening now. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen Spaceballs?
Yes.
Are you with
So
me?
yes, I am with you. It is Spaceballs on this podcast apparently, because didn't we have Spaceballs the other day too for the wrap? That was Space Jam. That was not Spaceballs. We're doing all kinds of space here on this podcast.
But
I'm
oh my
going
God,
crazy.
I could totally do a Spaceballs. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Why
maybe
did I never think of
that's a
that?
future wrap. But anyway,
Continue, Kim.
let's focus in here, Kim. The Wednesday play-in, which is April 3rd, Illinois versus Ball State. This is going to be a very good one, and the problem with this particular play-in is if Ball State gets in, that throws the individual brackets who knows what. So I don't know who's on call, if people are on call waiting, if they're going to arrive at Michigan on Wednesday just to see what Ball State does. I mean, who knows? Because Ball State has a lot of individual qualifiers. I mean, I think they do have alternates per se, so long as they can get there. I don't know how that works. We'll find out. Obviously, after Wednesday, we'll know, because Ball State definitely has a lot of individuals. Both very good teams.
You know what, though? If Ball State does make it, like Illinois people should be able to be the individuals.
Well, there are some Illinois that probably are.
Like Mia Townsend.
Mia Towns is in there, but it just depends, I think, if they are the next ranked athletes. So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? But I give this lean to Ball State. Illinois is good, but I do think Ball State is a little stronger. My personal feeling. So I would go with Ball State.
I think they're pretty evenly matched. However, I think they're pretty evenly matched. This is going to be one of those nail biter ones. Like it could be. Way.
Definitely.
It could literally come down to like the last event type of thing. Like Ball State is like really high in the MAC, but Illinois is like at the bottom of the Big Ten ish. This is going to be one of those nail biters. You're going to be on the edge of your seat until like the very end, I feel like, because their RQS scores are very like similar also. Mm-hmm. And yeah, but I'm giving it to Ball State also.
Yeah, I think they just have a little bit more score power on their events than Illinois does, but we shall see. Like I said, it would be close, but I believe Ball State will advance. Okay, so that leads us into session 1 on Thursday, and this is going to be a probably very loud session because this is going to be Michigan's session. They get to start
quiet as a church mouse. We're all going to sit there and just twiddle our thumbs.
Yes, but this is Alabama, Michigan, Kent State, and Penn State. Some things to look out for here. Kent State obviously is very strong on floor. It'll be very interesting if their vault is as similar as it was to Max, because vault tends to be a little bit of a weak event for Kent State. It was not weak at MAC championships. So we'll have to see how vault and floor. Now, beam and bars have been an up and down situation for Kent State. They can come out and they can do awesome on the 2 events, but then they also can struggle here and there like they did a little bit at Max. But they will begin on beam in the first round here as being the 3rd place team. They will start on beam, so we will have to see how that plans out. But with floor in Kent State, obviously the final 2 with Alyssa Guns and Carly Franz, I mean, they have been putting up 9.9s on floor. It'll be very interesting to see them in the second rotation for that semifinal, how Kent State does on floor, because that could obviously lead into vault and bars. And are they going to beat an Alabama and a Michigan? I don't know, but I'd like to see how they put that pressure on the 2 teams, because Kent State does have some good gymnastics.
You know what? The last time that Kent State competed at Michigan, they went.
They went to the NCAA.
State. They won. Or they didn't win, but they were second.
Yes.
In 2011. Could we have a Cinderella story? Could they come from behind? Who knows? It's anyone's game on the day. Wasn't that crazy? I remember that. That was insane. I was
back
there.
in 2011. However, there was not a semifinal and a regional final. This was just you went to regionals and you competed. So there wasn't.
Yeah, and that year Michigan went 197 and Kent State went 195, but still they made it.
Yes.
But still, hey, crazy, right?
Interesting.
That was a big deal.
Michigan involving the crowd. I'm very interested to see how the crowd reacts because it's a Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So, it's not like it's a Saturday night. It is an abnormal time for obviously a gymnastics meet, but it is in Ann Arbor. So we'll have to see how that works. Interested to see how Michigan does with Alabama. Now, they're not going to be here knocking Alabama out because this obviously is a semifinal. Like I said, I don't believe that Kent State or Penn State will contest with Alabama and Michigan. But the last time Chrysler Arena hosted, if I'm not mistaken, Kim, Alabama was edged out by Michigan, and UCLA and Michigan ended up qualifying. Am I correct?
Michigan edged out Alabama.
Yes, and so Michigan and UCLA that year advanced.
Yep.
Yeah, advanced. So it'd be very interested. Are they going to? Is anyone going to be able to edge these two teams out in this particular session? Doubtful. But who knows? You never know. An individual in this session that definitely stands out that doesn't get a lot of attention from us per se, but it did at Big Ten championships would be Ava P from Penn State. Vault and floor is phenomenal. Her handspring from pike on vault. Yeah, Sausalito from Penn State, also with a double front. So two impressive athletes from Penn State to watch out for. We have a boatload of Kent State alums, obviously, that we're looking out and love to watch. We've already talked about Alyssa and Carly, but we have Sarah Haxton, of course, who anchors bars. Awesome, leads beam usually, can put up 9.9s on both of those events on a regular basis. So lots out there to watch. It'll be very interesting in this session, but I do believe that obviously Michigan and Alabama will advance as the teams. But we do have some individuals to look out for. Peyton Murphy, my athlete, could be her last competition. We hope not. We cross our fingers that, there's a possibility. But she's competing in the all-around, and she rotates with Kent State. So that floor rotation will be interesting with Alyssa and then Carly and then Peyton going after them. We'll see if that helps because, of course, Kent State is very good on floor, and Peyton, of course, very good on floor. But there are a couple other all-arounders that I know stand out in this competition for you, too.
Yeah, all of the all-arounders are MAC athletes, all of them. So, yes. And they may not be all Region 5, but they're all MAC. So if you're MAC, you're Region 5. Just that's how it is. And Zoe Middleton, who's the MAC all-around champion, and then Ray Sabores, who's from EMU. And if you're from EMU, you're on the list. So I'm excited to see all them. And then, as you said, Peyton, who's just MAC royalty, as we know. Because we all love her.
So some individuals, this is really the only regional that we know for sure who's competing with who because it isn't posted anywhere, but, I have ties and connections. So we know this particular regional. On vault, an Eastern Michigan athlete.
Yes, Elena Fisher from Eastern. She has come on really strong this year and anchors the vault lineup, hitting huge scores. Beautiful full. So she's just beauty and power. I'm very excited for her, and I can't wait to see her excel at this regional. So hopefully she can go a long way. But she's just has a gorgeous vault and is just beauty and power. I'm very excited for her. So.
Well, the Beam Queen, as we call her from Eastern, is rotating with Michigan at this regional. And that would be Ella Shamati.
I love that they're rotating together and they're like neighbors because, Ypsilanti, Ann Arbor, they're neighbors.
Yes.
Love it.
Will Michigan's beam lineup help Ella?
Or will Ella help their beam lineup? Who knows? Let's give Ella a 10 already, people.
Yes.
Hopefully
Michigan does well on balance beam for many reasons, obviously to advance as well, but it would help Ella because, that's her event and she rotates with them. Floor, another Western Michigan athlete who is phenomenal on floor, and that would be Cassie St. Clair. She also rotates with Michigan. And so she follows, obviously, the Sierra Gabby Page trio at the end of the floor lineup. Talk about score building. And I like your little comment there. If you build it, they will come. We'll see how Cassie St. Clair is able to use that and build upon that, because hopefully, knowing Gabby and Sierra for sure, the scores of 995 will be flying through the roof there. Interested to see how Paige does this week, because obviously, like I said, we added her full in back, but was a little short on her double back at Big Tens.
I find it interesting that they put Paige last.
Yeah, I do too, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's just
Whatever
to build that score.
Bev,
yeah,
you do you, girl.
You do you. Maybe because build the scores, and she's new, a little bit newer to competition, obviously competing for the first year. But Gabby could probably score 10 first, so, it is what it is.
And then Paige can get 10 more.
Exactly. So, but the huge double full of Cassie St. Clair.
She has power and she has faces.
She has power face. Her power face is explosive on floor, with a beautiful front double full. Last pass is absolutely gorgeous. But interested to see that. That will be one also to watch out for. One individual that I definitely watch out here, and because she has my name, obviously J Mac. Isn't that funny? J Mac. That's her name, though. J Mac from ISU. Gorgeous Yurchenko 1.5, and her full in on floor is beautiful. She's been on floor and vault at regionals many, many, many times. I think every single year of her career, pretty much at ISU. So we'll get to see her again here. So that'll be fun to watch. Advancing from this regional, as I said, Alabama, Michigan, but we're both in agreement. Alabama and Michigan will advance from Session 1 in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
Session 2 is going to be interesting. I have never seen OU compete live. I'm excited for it.
Oh my God.
I have never watched them compete live. So I'm going to get to see OU compete live, which is awesome. But OU, NC State, Ohio State, and then the Ball State, Illinois champion from the play-in will be in this particular session. And again, this is where we will find out if we will see individualists competing, or we will see a whole team of Ball State athletes competing. But excited to see OU. Will OU put up a huge number in day one? Are they going to continue? Will they put a 198.9 up? Probably not. But who knows? We'll see. How many 10s will we see?
They're going to get a 200.
200. How many 10s are we going to see? Well, Reagan Smith will look at the beam and just walk away, and 10 will go up. Who knows?
She will. She's just going to be like, do.
Yes.
10.
But Faith Torres got a 10 on floor at conference championships. We'll see another 10 from
Faith
her.
This is the perfect time, Faith. Just throw the standing full on beam and let's just be done with it. I'm just saying.
I mean, you got a standing wolf jump, so just to replace it with the standing full. Anyway.
Do the full and then do the wolf jump. We don't care. I think this is a good time. We know you're qualifying, people. It's a good time. Just do it.
OU, like I said, I have never seen them live. I don't think.
I haven't either.
I don't think. Maybe I might actually be wrong. I covered Illinois regional one year for Gymcastic Flow. Can't remember what it was at the time. I think it was Flow.
How long ago was that?
That was a while ago, and they were actually at that regional, so they were there. But
how long ago was that?
That was a long time. It was a long time ago.
Are we talking about this is like the 198 OU?
I mean, this was still KJ era, so they were still good. But
I know,
but anyway. But yes, I haven't seen him in a long time, and so it would be fun to watch Hannah, and I'm sure that
up live, up close and personal.
And it'll probably be loud in there too, because Hannah will be there, so that. Right. I
get to frolic around.
It'll be interesting to see how many 10s, what the score is. If Faith does a standing full, we know she won't. But NC State has proven to be tough in a regional format. Obviously, the first year of this format, they went all the way to the regional semifinal or regional final from the play-in, so they know how to compete. They're coming off their ACC championship win. Katie Harper, who's a Region 5 alum, had a 9.9 on bars in that meet. A very nice, great bar routine. I ended up seeing it just recently. I watched the ACC championship that I had taped on TV. And then she also competes beam, so that's awesome there. But we'll see how NC State does, because they've proven, like I said, that they know how to handle the pressure of this competition. Could they be the second team in? They'd have to beat a strong Ohio State team that has also turned it on in the last few years at regionals, making the regional semifinal, if I'm not mistaken, the last two in a row. I do know they made it last year. So OSU, could put the pressure on there with NC State. I believe NC State NC State is definitely ranked higher than Ohio State coming in, but both very good teams. That's gonna be another battle. And then of course we've said Ball State will be in this meet, so Lum City. So there you go, Kim. You have a whole lineup of athletes to take pictures of. Yes, but as we mentioned, Ball State could throw an individual situation with with this session and see who will come in to replace them if that happens. But we will stick to what we know now, and one vault that I definitely know that you are excited to see, Victoria Henry's 1.5, Yurchenko 1.5 on vault.
But MAC championship, she sat on her booty.
Yeah, she did. She did sit down.
But
yes,
I've definitely seen it not sitting on her booty. She can stick that vault, and she can do it amazing. I hope she hits this vault. Just like Suki, I hope Suki freaking hits her vault too.
Ball State could be the Cinderella story, as you mentioned, all the way through to the regional final. I mean, they could. They have the ability. They have the potential. They have the athletes and the scored potential, too. So, but we talked about Suki Pfister as well, the Hansering Front Pike half. We know she does not like MAC championships. We know that already. So she does not like that event. So, but she did well at regionals last year. She did take a hop on her vault last year, but she did well. It was a nice vault. What will we see this year? Will we see the very large front pike half stuck landing that we have seen? Of course, one of my faves from this year especially, Ashley Szymanski from Ball State. Beautiful bars. I mean, she has had some very consistent bar work. If Ball State is not in this session, then she will rotate with Ohio State. And I'm looking forward to her rocking, obviously, this. But I know you put in my notes because I mentioned it. I will be on Ashley Watch because you always have to watch Ashley regardless. If her team is there especially, it's going to be, epic. I'm sure she'll have a lot of moments where she is just, letting loose and looking like she really enjoys, like you put the Ashley dance cam.
Yeah.
I'll have to, put some social media content out on just Ashley doing, Ashley things on the floor.
Ashley doing Ashley things.
Yes, but looking forward to her bars live. I saw it at NIU this year, and looking forward to more. And that's where I know about the Ashley Watch, because you have to. We'll see if they don't make it, then we'll see how much different Ashley is on the floor versus with her teammates. So, Megan Teeter.
And the very excited Ashley, why are you screaming at me on her?
Yes. Oh, yes. And her reactions to her post dismounts on bars, and we'll see how that goes. If the team's in there, she'll also compete beam as well, obviously. But Megan Teeter, beautiful bar routine, dismount, obviously. Tkachev, huge Tkachev. It's sad that we are seeing the last performances of Megan Teeter. We talked about Teeter Town is going a different direction, green and white now, but definitely going to miss Megan. But looking forward to seeing her last meet. Another one that I'm glad that I get to see while at Michigan. So the advantage there, that's awesome. So looking forward to seeing Megan obviously do another bar routine. But she rotates if she makes it. It doesn't make it. Ball State doesn't make it. She actually rotates with NC State, and that'll be two great Region 5 alum bar workers with Katie and Megan in the same rotation. So that's fun. Floor. I'm excited to see Suki Pfister. It's awesome this year. She's done really well on floor. You wrote in here very bouncy. She is very bouncy.
Yeah, she's like a freaking little jumping jack jelly bean.
Jumping jack jelly bean.
Yeah, she's like ping, 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 ping.
So we look forward to seeing that floor routine. It doesn't, she would be doing vault and floor regardless of what meet she's in. So we'll see her both times. So. Mia Towns. Yes, she will get down on the floor and she will command the floor like she always does. So, yes.
She is make you stop and watch, and you will.
I'm not really sure why no one ever rotates with Oklahoma.
No, if you look on that schedule, there's everybody else has a buddy during different parts of the meet. Like they may have an individual or something, but Oklahoma has no one ever.
I wonder if that is across the board. I wonder if the number one qualifier to each of the regionals has that. We won't know until we see the regionals, but I wonder if the number one does not. To check
I don't
to
know.
see if
Call
that's
all
the
your
case.
connections and find out.
Yeah, well, we don't have that. So that's very interesting that Oklahoma
Right.
doesn't have anybody. So, but this regional is going to be very tough for individuals who come in without teams to qualify to nationals. It's just going to be that way. There's a lot of good individualists on teams that are here. Advancing out of this semifinal, I have OU, and I think Ohio State. I feel Ohio State will jump NC State, even though they may be ranked higher and a little more scoring potential. I think Ohio State will do it.
I want to say Ohio State, but I want to see NC State. I'm going to be different, okay? I'm going to be different. I'm going to say NC State.
I think Ball State, if Ball State makes it in, Ball State has a chance. They could possibly do it. But I feel Ohio State, just because of the last few years, and they looked good at Big Tens. And, of course, OU, there's just no question. So
I mean, if we could, can we have two?
We are just going to then give you who we feel is going to move out of this region. And my feeling, I feel OU for sure, 100%. And I'm going to nudge Michigan because it's in Michigan. It's at Ann Arbor. Gabby Sierra, I think they want one more chance, and so Carly Bauman and some of those seniors as well. And I just feel that Michigan will pull it out at home. But, again, it's going to be tight. Alabama, Alabama's been really, really good in the last few weeks. But, I don't know. I think Michigan will use the home court advantage because it will be Saturday night. It'll be louder. And I just feel Michigan's going.
I want it to be Michigan, but I want it to be Alabama just to be different. But I want it to be Michigan because it's in Michigan. What happens if there's a tie?
They break it with score. They put the sixth score in.
Do they really? Mm-hmm. Can't there be a tie? Why can't there be a tie?
No, that's how they did that. Remember, that's how they did the tie last year at regionals. That's why Michigan got knocked out at Denver because they had that fall. Okay,
so here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go with Michigan too, just because I think they're a little salty from not winning Big Tens. I think they're going to be on their game. So we're going to go with Michigan.
OU, Michigan will advance out of Ann Arbor to the NCAA championships.
Boom.
Going to Arkansas, and the Arkansas Regional in Fayetteville is also Wednesday play-in, so we have two play-ins on Wednesday. Boise State versus BYU. Honestly, it's a toss-up for me. I really don't. The only thing is I'm going to lean towards Boise State. The only reason I lean towards Boise State is because the athlete that is the alum for Boise State, I know better than the alums that we have at BYU. So I'm going to go Boise State.
But you know what? I'm going to go with Boise State because guess what? I like their football field.
There you go. So Kim likes the football field.
It's blue.
It's blue, yes. And so Boise State will get our nod to make it in. Thursday, semifinal 1. I'll be watching this between sessions in Ann Arbor. I'm sure Kim will probably as well. It'll be going on, I believe, at the same time. I think they all go at the same time, but we'll have to go back and watch. But Kentucky, Arkansas, Arizona, and Nebraska. We have alums we had an alum in Kentucky. I'm not really sure what happened to Annie. She is injured, or I'm not 100% sure what happened because she hasn't competed in a good 3-4 weeks. So she's doing bars and she hasn't. So not really sure about that. But we do have a couple at Arkansas, and we only have one competing at Arkansas at the moment. Arizona, we have one on vault, and then Nebraska, we don't have any competing. But Kentucky is looking tough going into postseason. They look very strong. They looked good at SECs for sure, being in that final session, pushing LSU, rotation in and out. It'll be very interesting to see how Kentucky, comes out in that first session, what score they put up. Arkansas is hosting regionals. What will that advantage, just like Michigan, it's on Thursday, what will that advantage have for Arkansas? in this session. It won't be as big a deal in this session as it would be if they do advance to the finals. But Haley Klein is our alum at Arkansas, and she competes 3 events. At least she did at SECs. She's doing vault with a beautiful 1.5 balance beam, and then her floor. So we anticipate seeing her on 3 events. But fun to see Arkansas obviously host the championship. I believe this is the first time Jordan will host a regional since she's been there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So that's cool. Emma Spence from Nebraska is always fun to watch. I know you mentioned Emma. You talked about Emma, I believe, on the Big Ten podcast on the championship podcast.
I did.
Yeah, can put up 9.9, 9.95s on all 4 events. So it'll be interesting. Nebraska has, very little chance, I would say, of advancing. So Emma's more there to try to get that score to be one of those all-arounders that move out of this region. And we're not addressing all-arounders advancing or individuals advancing because we, again, don't know who makes the finals and all that, so it's just too much. So obviously at the end, when we do our recap of regionals, we can address those particular individuals. But advancing from this session, I'm leaning on, obviously, Kentucky, Arkansas. I don't think it's really much of a thing. I don't believe that Arizona or Nebraska have it's strong enough teams to advance. I think Kentucky and Arkansas will definitely advance.
Me too.
And I believe you do too. So we're going Kentucky, Arkansas. Not a lot there, as I mentioned, in terms of alums to talk about in that session. So session 2, be watching on my way home from Ann Arbor. This one to keep up with the days so we don't get overwhelmed. LSU, Minnesota, Oregon State, and then we've given Boise the nod, but Boise or BYU, whoever it would be. This is going to be a great session. How many 10s will LSU have? Will Haley or Connor get a 10 on all their events that they do? It's going to be interesting to see that. Sav. That would be Savannah. Definitely looking forward to watching anything she does all the time. I know she's been on bars, beam, and floor, and some vaults. She's kind of merged into all the lineups. She has strong gymnastics on all 4 events, so interested to see what she'll do at regionals. But love watching Sav on anything she does compete, especially bars. So be interested to see the score that LSU puts up in session 2 for regional semifinals here in Arkansas. How much of an impact will Jade have on Oregon State's chances of advancing tonight? They have a strong Minnesota team they're going against. Will Jade do the all-around, which I'm sure she will.
Well, if she does more on vault than what she did at...
Correct. She did not. Her vault did not count, but her beam and floor certainly did, since she got a 10 on floor. So what impact will they have? It'll be very interesting to see what Jade does. Will she qualify as the individual all-arounder? Will she advance only on certain events? She was a beam qualifier last year. She obviously put a 10 up, doing a layout full out. So very interesting to see what Jade's performance does for Oregon State. Minnesota.
She did a layout
She did a layout full out off beam. It was phenomenal. But she also did it on floor in her first pass. So
you just made it sound like she was the qualifier off beam and she did a layout full out off.
She did a layout full out on beam at nationals in 2023. She did not, but she did do a layout full out on floor at Pac-12s in her first pass and got a 10. So yes, but fresh off their second place close finish, Minnesota at Big Tens. How will that motivate the Gophers? I'm very interested to see how that performance motivates their regional performance. Do I feel that they have a struggle here? I don't think so. I think Minnesota is actually better than Oregon State overall. Jade's going to put up a big score on her events, but I don't see the entire team overtaking Minnesota. Minnesota is very strong. So I would feel that LSU and Minnesota will advance. So if Boise State does make it into the final, we'll get to see Elena McGovern in this competition. We'll see her on Wednesday, of course. And she's great on bars and floor. Again, not a lot of alums 1-2 here. LSU has none. Minnesota has 2 competing.
Well, LSU has one, but she doesn't compete.
Well, Kai Rivers, yes. But Kai Rivers, unfortunately, we didn't get to see her this year. She came back, but with issues with her Achilles, just, just lots of issues. And unfortunate. We're going to try to get Kai, though, on our alumni conversations this year for sure, talk about it. But yeah, so LSU, Minnesota, I don't think are going to have much of a problem here in session 2 of day 1 at regionals in Arkansas. All-arounders that we're interested to watch, obviously, Reed from CMU.
Yes, Luciana.
Yes, everything she does is phenomenal to watch.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
I mean, she is an Olympian from Costa Rica.
Yes.
So I'm very excited. And, of course, MAC, hello. If you're from the MAC,
yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
You're the Region 5 conference.
Form, presentation, everything.
And her floor routine. Give me Britney any day with some Britney Spears dance moves. Yes.
Yes, so that'll be fun to watch. Kendall Whitman from GW. I got to see her live this year. We talked about that.
We did. We got to see her at the podium meet. She was exquisite.
She was.
With her double front tumbling on the floor.
Yes, and her beautiful vault.
She has like 3 tumbling passes, let's be real.
Yes. She will be one to watch for sure. So definitely look out for Kendall at the Arkansas Regional. Individuals especially from Region 5 on vault, Kiera O'Shea has come on in the last, obviously month and a half with her. Yes, the beautiful Yurchenko 1.5 that she's been doing.
She is the MAC vault champion. Stuck that cold. Elizabeth Cesaroni from CMU. She is another one on vault that is gorgeous. Yurchenko full. She kind of reminds me of Katie Kowalski, who is another CMU vaulter who is not in this competition. I wish she was. But Cesaroni here is amazing on vault, so I'm very excited. Again, CMU. The highlight of this one for me is going to be Alyssa Alishari on bars from NIU. Very excited. I wish she would have made it for beam too. I kind of thought she did when I was looking at the thing because I kind of just assumed beam and bars. No.
Right.
I wish she would have though. But.
Yeah. But we'll look forward to watching her on bars, her last performance of her college career.
Oh, can she have a 5th year? Just take it.
No, she doesn't want to, I don't think.
I know
think she's ready to be done.
I'm sure.
A floor routine that we definitely will not want to miss at this competition, and that would be Hallie Hornbacher. Awesome. I talk about her routine a lot. Her first pass, that front layout, Rudy, is huge and awesome all the time. She has great performance quality. Double back usually lands very nicely in the last pass. It's just awesome to watch, and I would love to see Hallie qualify to nationals.
Absolutely. I think that'd be amazing, especially because she's one that's probably not going to take a 5th year either, and so it'd be really exciting to see her go out with qualifying a spot to nationals. That'd be very exciting. So
it kind of depends on who she's with,
performance quality and everything. Also,
exactly
those eyes, Hallie's eyes.
It just depends on who she rotates with because we're not 100% sure, and then where she's at, and if she's in session 1 or session 2, that can also contribute to it, even though people say that it doesn't. But so we'll have to see that. But advancing from this session, again, I think we've already made that clear. Both Kim and I are LSU, Minnesota. I don't think there's any other options there. So moving on from Arkansas to nationals, we feel LSU, Kentucky. However, Kim and I both have a quote, but maybe. And I say Minnesota. Kim says Arkansas.
You know what? I've always just liked Arkansas for years and years and years.
Yes.
Even before
court advantage too. Who knows?
Even before the Jordan Weber, Chris, all of them came trotting along. I just always liked Arkansas, but come on. Can we just have a tie? But honestly, I it's going to be LSU and Kentucky. Let's be real. Kentucky
looks too good. They look too good. Oh my God,
they are on their game. They have just skyrocketed.
Yes. But could this be a situation where all 6 scores are put in? We'll have to see. I mean, we require a tie, clearly. But, could that be a situation? But Arkansas, obviously Kentucky was way ahead of Arkansas in the rankings this year, both in the SEC and nationally. So I don't see that. And Minnesota could put I think Minnesota can give them the best test of all, but I still think, as we say, LSU, Kentucky moving out of Arkansas.
Yep.
We stroll a little bit down to Florida, and this begins Thursday, play-in on Thursday, where we'll be watching the regional semifinals in Michigan and Arkansas. Florida will begin its play-in, and this is Clemson, Iowa State, and I guess we just recently found out Clemson is coming to the Big Ten next year, so that's another interesting, twist to the Big Ten gymnastics and how they're going to handle their Big Ten championship and all that stuff. So, but moving, obviously focusing on regionals, playing Clemson versus Iowa State. Who advances? You picked Clemson.
I did.
This is another one that I'm like both. I would like either team to come in. So Lily Lippett, obviously competing for Clemson, does vault, or does not do vault. She does bars, beam, and floor. And for Iowa State, we have Ella Shell, who does bars and floor for Iowa State. And then we have Lauren Obrakta, who does balance beam. And one of the most pretty layout step outs in the country. You pick Clemson. I'll go Iowa State just to have a difference there. Honestly, I could care less who. I'd like both of them. So either one could rotate or to rotate. Either one could qualify. But I'll go Iowa State just to have a difference there. And again, like I said, we have 2 alums versus 1. Interested to see what Clemson wears for their leotard in this play-in. See what they use, if they're going to return to one of the ones they've worn, or they're just gonna keep going and add another wrinkle.
Oh my God, they're getting a new one, because who knows if they're gonna make it past this point? There's a new one.
Right. So, or will they wear their Tiger one if they do advance? Will that Tiger one come back? Who knows? Anyway.
Well, same.
So play-in Clemson, Iowa State. Kim Clemson. Jason, Iowa State. Friday, session 1. This one is going to be the session I know Kim will be most interested in this regional. Yes. Utah, MSU, Townsend, and Maryland. This I don't feel is, in terms of teams, there's any question about. I think it's more just watch individuals. Utah and MSU will move on. Yes, MSU will close on balance beam in this competition, but I don't think that's a big deal for them. They're a very strong beam team, and this is not. Townsend and Maryland are good, but I don't think they're strong enough. Although Townsend did win their championship as well, so their conference championship. So we will see. But again, Townsend, Utah, and MSU coming off conference championships, coming off that high. What kind of advantage will they have with that? Looking at Townsend, Tasha, obviously 9-9 watch. She's put 9-9s up. She's the vault champion from the EAGL. 9-9 there. She could also do 9-9 on floor. Beautiful pike full in, front to double back, So we'll see, but I'm excited to watch Tasha. Nat, could she vault herself? That would be Natalie Martin. Could she vault herself to nationals? She has a very nice Yurchenko 1.5.
She does.
I think that could be the best place for her, even though she is good on all her events. Floor, she doesn't full in, but her Yurchenko 1.5 is nice. She does. She does.
It's amazing.
But that's where I think that she has the best chance of qualifying individually.
Absolutely.
MSU beam will be critical, I feel, on day 2. Day 1, they end on it. Probably not as big a deal, but it will be in day 2. Because Missouri and Utah, MSU's floor won't be as much of an advantage when they go up against Utah and Missouri, who we've kind of jumped a little ahead of the game here, but Missouri and Utah are both very good on floor, so their advantage kind of goes away on that because their floor is very
Utah's good like everywhere.
Exactly. So MSU's beam will be critical when it comes to the regional final, but in this competition, again, they end on it, but I think that they're strong enough overall that that's not going to be a problem at all. And then Sage or Tucker.
Shades of Rucker.
Shades of Rucker.
Hilarious.
I just feel I watch Tucker and I just get the shades of Jaden Rucker from Utah, qualifying on vault, making nationals. If happened, MSU didn't make it for some odd reason. these two, could they make nationals on vault? Could they be the vault qualifier out of this region? Who knows? But I just saw that. But thinking Tucker, thinking Rucker, not because it rhymes, but
But that was great. Look at you making rhymes.
But yes, so if MSU happened not to, would these two, one of these two, make the vault individual qualifier to nationals? That would be fun and exciting. Some all-arounders, Kim?
Yes, some all-arounders. Sid Morris from LIU. I enjoy her very much. She's just a little bundle of power also, and a little bundle of joy. She's tiny. I've seen LIU a few times last year at a few different meets. I have some lovely photos, but I just think she's great. I'm very excited to see her as an all-arounder. I'm very excited to see her. She's a good one. So watch out for her. Very good, very good. Good on all events. She's a little powerhouse. That one. On vault, Laylee D from UNC. She's doing 2 events, vault, the vault and the bars. I had to put my Russian accent on for that, clearly. She is one of those athletes that did one of those mommy legacy routines, on the floor. But her bars is beautiful and beautiful. She has that beautiful Russian toe point. You know why? Because her mother's a Soviet national team member. She is one to definitely not miss, especially on the uneven bars. I don't know why I just turned Russian all of a sudden. Das vidanya.
Avi Belzar is also good on bars from Rutgers.
She's very good. Yes.
Nice double layout. Cheryl Yeager. So Avery will be a bar specialist at this meet for Rutgers. And then I have a floor to watch out for, and you have a Clemson athlete that you like to watch out for a floor.
I do. Bree Clark from Clemson. Her floor routine is amazing. Music is great. Very hip-hoppy. Very showy. I can't wait to see it.
And then Julia Bedell, she has a YouTube channel. Many of you probably, if you are gymnastics fans and follow YouTube, know. She's from Brown. She was a gymnast at Breston's, and actually we have seen footage on her YouTube channel of Breston's gym. She goes in there when she's home and trains, but very, very popular YouTuber if you follow her. But she is from Brown. She has a beautiful full in on floor. And so looking forward to seeing that, because I've actually only seen her compete once this season. So, but I do follow her YouTube channel, so I see things here and there from that. So definitely looking forward to watching her do floor. And again, we're not really sure what session she's in, or any of them are in, but we'll be watching out for them. So advancing out of session 1, Kim and I are in agreement. Utah, Michigan State. Session 2 will be interesting. Florida, Missouri, Georgia, Clemson, or Iowa State. What's Florida's mindset coming into regionals? They had a not so high performance at SECs. They finished 4th out of 4 in that particular session. So very interested to see how they will rebound hosting regionals on Friday night. Ellie Lazari, beam, ? I put that because she's had an up and down season on beam. She can put up 9.95, and she can also put up an 8.85. It just depends on what day she has. So that's going to be interesting. Peyton Richards, will we see her? They said that we could see her in the postseason. We didn't see her at SECs. Will we see her on floor at regionals? Very interesting to see that. It'll be fun to see. Missouri and their floor and vault. Their floor and vault will prove to be a big advantage in this competition because they are very strong on both of those events, but they are also strong on all 4 events. So it'll be very, cool to see where Missouri is. They qualified last year, so they've got that as well to nationals. So their experience, and we get to see Kennedy Griffith competes on 3 events for them: vault, beam, and floor, and always puts up huge numbers on floor for sure, so that'll be fun. We talked about Lily Lippett on floor. If she qualifies, if Clemson makes it in, we'll see her on the play-in on Thursday, but her floor, that jazzed up, fast-moving, I forget what I called it. Pink Panther on, where was it? On Red Bull, I think we called about it. And just awesome. I love the routine. Fun to watch. And then Addie Wall, her all-around chances of qualifying. It would be great if a freshman qualifies, but unfortunately her teammate, not unfortunate for, that there's two of them, unfortunate for Addie, but Lily Smith from Georgia is also a freshman, and she's phenomenal in the all-around. So there's two that, have good all-around scores. Be very interesting, but we'll get to see Addie Wall compete, obviously, for Georgia in her first regionals as well, doing the all-around. So this particular session, again, I don't feel is much of a toss-up or anything. Florida, Missouri, we're both in agreement on that. That will qualify and advance to the to the regional final in Florida. Two nationals. We do disagree here.
We do.
Utah for sure, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
We both are in agreement on Utah. I am picking Missouri because I was very impressed with Missouri at SECs. So coming into this regional final, we feel obviously it would be Florida, Missouri, Michigan State, and Utah. Florida will have to begin on beam. So they will begin regional finals on beam, hosting the meet. Number two
that's just as bad as like ending on beam.
I know. Number two is Utah. They will begin on bars. They end on vault. So that's a pretty good event for them, pretty good rotation for them. Michigan State begins on vault, ends on floor. That could be a very good thing for them because Missouri begins on floor, but they have to end on beam. So interesting how that's going to wrap up. We'll have to see. But I obviously I would love to see Michigan State make it in. I don't know. I get this feeling Missouri is against Michigan State's on a roll, and I think this could be their year. But again, Missouri's good.
You know what though? Like we have it as Utah, Missouri, Utah, MSU. $20 says it's truly going to be Utah, Florida though.
And again, it could be Florida. You're right. Florida could be like just have one of those days where they are capable because they should.
Florida is ranked above all of them.
Yeah, I feel Florida is not the sleeper. I feel Florida is the one that, is just going to be like, you know what, we just wanted to not have a good SECs because we're going to have a great regional final at home and we're going to go, So again, it's just they've had a really shaky year, even though they are the highest ranked team. So
yeah, but I'm selfish and I want to see Michigan State.
We're just throwing the race, yes, and I say Missouri. I would like to see Missouri make it in too. So, all right, so Utah, Missouri for me, Utah, MSU. And Florida will be going.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's what it is.
I got them in parentheses.
Yes. That's
next to MSU, just in case.
We'll see how it goes. The other play-in on Thursday, Southern Utah versus San Jose State. I put this as a good friend. The head coach of Utah, Southern Utah, is a good friend of mine. And then the future home of Maddie Gistitis and Sammy Makasu at San Jose State. Who advances? I really could care less. Either one. Care less. We don't have alums at either right now. So whoever wants to make it, whoever wants it more, go after it. Let's get it. So I don't have one. Whoever you want to put, if we want to have one, we have to have it. I'll go with that one because I don't care. I would say San Jose State because we will have two alums there next year. But
let's just go with it. San Jose State. Okay.
We're doing San Jose State.
Go.
I don't have one wish, one or the other. Session 1 on Friday of this regional semis. Denver, UCLA, ASU, and Washington. This will be the final competition for one of my athletes, Cassie Barbanente, on bars. She competes bars, second up on bars for ASU. So looking forward to watching her compete in her last event. I'm sure her parents and her family and everybody and anybody is going to be out there. Looking forward to that. Denver is tough. They're tough. They could be a sleeper in this region when we get to the end. We saw what happened last year, but not at home this year. However, they are at Cal, so it'll be interesting to see how Denver does. But awesome. We have Mila competing there. Obviously, Mila Brush. UCLA should advance easily. It shouldn't even be a difficult process, even though they're not the highest ranked team coming in. They shouldn't have a problem here. But coming out of this semifinal. But
Well,
I hope
they are the second.
correct, but they shouldn't have a problem. But I hope that ASU puts on a show. I'm really hoping because ASU has some good athletes. I like to push UCLA a little bit, but I don't feel that's going to be an issue at all. But what Leo will UCLA wear in this competition?
I don't know. I'm very excited. I made my students watch Pac-12s this morning, but just UCLA on floor. Like we took a moment just because it's starting. Everything's starting like tomorrow, and they all filled out their boards. And one of my students was like, "Well, I'm invested since I have a board, and for extra credit since his basketball board was kaput. He's now invested in the gymnastics board."
In the gymnastics board, there you go. Yes, so important things. UCLA's Leo. What are they going to be wearing?
Well, duh. I think it's going to be fantastic. Whatever it is, it's going to be fantastic.
Well, yes. So, Denver, UCLA. There's no.
Well, obviously.
There's no issue. Session 2 of regional semis, Cal, Auburn, Stanford, and then the San Jose State or Southern Utah winner. Cal, just Cal. Cal. They have to rebound from Pac-12s because Pac-12s did not go well, as well as they would have liked, I should say. Not that it didn't go well, but not as well as they would have liked.
Well, you know what? They showed up last year at Pitt in regionals, and I have no problems. I think they'll be just fine.
Will the home court advantage help them? We shall see.
There's no time difference, so yeah.
No looking at Jason's map to figure out what time zone they're in. Auburn in the postseason without SUNY, they were 7th at the SEC championships. It's going to be a struggle.
Still ranked higher than Stanford. Stanford not ranked. Stanford you look good, but they're still ranked higher than Stanford.
Chloe Widner. Kim, you will like her. I don't know if you've watched her. I'm sure you have.
I have watched her.
Her jumps are enormous. Her jumps and splits are enormous.
Yeah, they are. They're beautiful.
Yes.
Beam is gorgeous. I was a little disappointed in her floor routine, but she's a lovely, lovely one.
Her double layout's nice.
Yes.
She has a huge Tkachev. Her double layout off bars is also very nice. But she definitely is a star and one that I feel could be an all-arounder that qualifies out of this region. So that's why I want to point her out.
However, she has long-legged floor music, but she doesn't have long legs. That bothers me. But she's gorgeous with the leaps and jumps. She has uber flexibility. I loved watching her on balance beam.
So an all-around possibility. But there are a couple others. One
there
that we know we love to watch in the Big Ten all the time.
Yeah, Karina Munoz, not Munoz, or whatever they put on the little thing the first time, from Iowa. Oh, she's going to do Karina things. She's going to Karina so hard. She's going to come unbuckled again, I'm sure. I can't wait to see. Well, hopefully she does more than what she did at Big Tens because she didn't do very many of those events. Yeah, but
that is true. But maybe they were resting her because they didn't think Iowa was going to.
I think they were going to rest her. That was a great idea on their part. But she's amazing.
And then shout out to Maggie Slife from Arizona Air Force. She's also a very strong all-arounder, mid-39s, like 39.3, 39.325. She is the daughter of Justin, who helps us with our site. He helps us manage our site. He's from Midwest Twisters, who is also in the organization of High Five, which also runs our Region 5 Insider Classic with us. So, but Maggie is an awesome gymnast, very good difficulty. She's done well at like level 10 nationals many years in a row. She's from Region 4, obviously. But looking forward to watching Maggie compete, and good luck to her. Like I said, shout out to Justin for all his help also on our site too. So good luck to Maggie from Air Force in the all-around out in Cal. One balance beam routine that obviously no matter what region she's in, no matter who she competes for, always stands out, and that would be
Ilka Juk from Iowa. She's our Region 5 adoptee with her soul-piercing perfection on the balance beam. I just am so excited to see her in the individual spot on balance beam here at Cal. She is the most gorgeous human being. I don't care.
Could you imagine if she rotates with Cal?
Oh, can you imagine?
Cal beam into her beam. That'd be just
God. That would
be interesting.
That would be the most glorious. Or if she rotates with even with UCLA too, either of them. Oh my God, it would make my life so complete.
Another Iowan, University of Iowa gymnast, the daughter of the head coach, Bailey Libby.
Yes, with her sail floor routine. I'm very excited that she made floor, though. I love this floor routine. Still don't like the music, but I love the floor routine and what she does with it and how she moves her body. And, I mean, are her teammates... Somebody needs to be there to yell sail. I'm just saying, because her teammates usually yell sail in the middle. Somebody, please. Fans.
Well, she's got two, so
Ilka
will be able to do it.
Karina, please, somebody yell sail in the middle of her team. Whoever you rotate with, just get them to yell sail because it just needs to happen. I'm so excited. These Iowa athletes are just perfection on floor.
Advancing from the semis, we do disagree here. I say Stanford. I think Stanford will go. So Cal, we agree with both, obviously. And then Stanford, you have?
I have Auburn. I mean, I would be okay with Stanford, but I just have to be different. I would like Auburn.
You went by the ranking, which is fine, but I feel Stanford at this stage of gymnastics,
Auburn
is a little bit on the upswing, on the up tier, and Auburn's not kind of there right now, especially after SEC. So we'll see. But Cal Stanford for me. Cal Auburn for Kim, but we are both very much in agreement because I don't think there really is any other option in this regional. Moving to nationals from Cal will be Cal UCLA.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. Yes, it will be.
Yeah. Could Denver get UCLA? We'll see, but I feel UCLA will make it on. So our final four picks. Kentucky, LSU, UCLA, Cal is on one side. Michigan, OU, Utah, Missouri, or MSU. But we have in parentheses Florida, Kentucky, LSU, UCLA, Cal. I'm going to go Kentucky, LSU.
I am LSU, Cal.
And then the Michigan, OU, Utah, Missouri, MSU session. I'm going OU, Utah.
I am also going OU, Utah. Okay, and who do we think is going to win the whole shebang?
I do not think anyone can beat Oklahoma. I just don't. They're just too good. The only team of all of them that could, I feel, beat them would be LSU because they have more scoring potential of 10-0s, I feel, than Utah has with a couple, but I just feel that they could put up a couple 10s in each event. I think LSU could possibly beat OU, but I just don't think anyone could beat OU. If OU has lights out day, they're done. That they won. I mean, I don't know. I don't see it.
I think it's going to be Oklahoma, hands down. I think they're going to have to implode on themselves.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. So we're going to.
But I think LSU will give them a little bit test for their money there, run for their money. So both on the same mark with OU. Look forward to that. Hopefully we'll have some individualists from Region 5 qualify. Make sure you follow along Thursday on our R5 College Salute _ podcast Instagram page because I will be posting stuff from the stands. Kim will be on the floor. She'll post some stuff usually at the beginning, sometimes during, but taking pictures, she tends to, focus on that. But I will be posting stuff, routines, and just things I see, and Ashley Cam on that. So look for that. Kim will also be there for more content for you on Saturday. She will be there for the regional.
I'll be there for
as well.
Lots of spine-breaking coverage of Oklahoma.
Yes. But she'll also be there for Oklahoma.
Region 5. Region 5 alums. Oklahoma.
But she will definitely be there also for the play-in too, so you'll get to see that one as much as possible as well. So, but yeah. I'll be watching that. So,
nail biter.
Look forward to that. Make sure you check all of our content out on the R5 College Salute _ podcast this weekend, and then we'll obviously be back next week for our podcast. So, thanks again for listening in as we previewed the NCAA Regional Week. Look out for our special guest interview podcast. It is coming. We have narrowed down date number 2, and I have the time zone correct. So we're good. So look for that. It should come out next week before the national regional podcast is up. So, and then of course, all our behind the scenes from Ann Arbor, the regional championship recap and more spine breaking coverage next week on our pod from our Region 5 alums. Follow, like, and subscribe. Peace out. Region 5.
Five, 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 five.